We have some breaking news here. LA County Fire Department investigating reports of an explosion at the LA County Sheriff's Department training facility. We're looking at live pictures here. KTLA's Rich Prickett is in Sky 5 HD. Rich, the reports we are getting, quite awful, but what are you hearing and seeing right now?
Well, the information we've been provided at this point, Frank, is that the fire department responded here around 7:30 this morning for reports of an explosion possibly in a gymnasium or one of the buildings here at the East LA Sheriff's Training Facility. And more sources have said that 3 deputies may have been killed here at the training facility. And what we're seeing right now is lots of deputies that are here in the parking lot, as well as the fire department. And we're trying to pin down exactly which building this might have occurred in, but this is the activity we are seeing at this point. And 3 deputies may have been killed in some sort of an explosion, possibly in a gymnasium here at the training facility. Here's the fire department here talking with some members of the Sheriff's Department. And another thing that we have noticed here is that this might have been at the Sheriff's Special Unit Dispatch, which is their tactical teams here for the Sheriff's Department. Again, possible explosion that happened here at 7:30 this morning, killing 3 deputies here in East LA. Frank, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, and we should say we do not have that confirmed yet on the 3 deputies. That is some of the initial reporting. And the SEB, the Special Enforcement Bureau, as you say, Rich, that's the essentially the SWAT team of the LA County Sheriff's Department. And the body language suggests that this is not an active situation at this moment. So we don't know if, we simply don't have enough information to suggest what has happened here or how this happened. You can see the crime tape up. Do we see any paramedic units or fire units that are actually transporting folks or working on injured or wounded, or do you see anything like that, Rich?
Frank, we do not. What we're seeing is right here, what's in frame here in the parking lot here, we see one paramedic ambulance that is standing by here, as well as one of the fire engines. But this also may have occurred 1 hour ago, so if there were any transports, that may have already happened. But we are seeing the evidence tape that's roped around the parking lot here with several deputies standing outside and what remains of the fire department.
You know, Rich, we're hearing that there are reports of there was a loud noise, and you're talking about this possible explosion in the gymnasium. Can you pull out and sort of, I don't know how much you know at this hour, but where is that gymnasium specifically on this compound?
Well, that's what we were trying to pin down before we went live here, Megan. But what I can show you is this section of the parking lot. It's a rather large facility here in East LA, right out to 710 freeway. And once we arrived here on scene, we could see that the majority of the activity was here near the Special Unit Dispatch building. And according to the information that was being provided, it may have happened in a gymnasium. And we're also hearing reports that 3 deputies are down.
Yeah, and just to orient folks as to where this is, to Rich's point, this is along the 710 freeway, right where the 10 sort of intersects with the 710, and you've probably driven by and seen that tower there that has the microwaves and all of the various things that for communication, and that's an area, East LA, City Terrace, Monterey Park, just right outside of Monterey Park. It's sort of that area if you're familiar with that intersection of the 10 and the 710. We're getting this horrific information. We do have Eric Spillman and Annie Rose Ramos who are arriving on scene. In fact, Annie Rose, I understand you are on scene. I know it's very difficult to get information. Rich is doing his best from the air. What, if anything, have you been able to find out on the ground?
Hey, Frank, good morning. Yeah, we are on Eastern Avenue and Sheriff's Road. You might be able to see right here in this intersection, sheriff's deputies blocking it off. And you can see this long line of cars trying to get out of this area. That is because we understand, I went up to one of the cars here, it was a worker, an individual who works inside, who says that they were told to evacuate immediately. The sheriff's deputies here say this is still very much an active scene. Now we understand for one of the employees who showed up to come to work and was turned away because of what's going on here, that this call came in right around 7:30 this morning. And inside, through this road, if you drive down it, it is here at the Sheriff's Department that they undergo trainings, including with their bomb squad specialists on their bomb squad yard, and that is where they hold their training facilities. So we understand that that is where, unfortunately, this may have been the place of where that deadly incident occurred. And since we got here about 15 minutes ago, Frank and Megan, you saw this long line of employees leaving. One of them, he said he's the maintenance crew. Another one, he says, is a mechanic who works on the sheriff's deputies' cars. He actually helps put them all together. And he said right around 30 minutes ago, he got a call from his boss to say, leave this area, evacuate now. Everybody needs to leave. And that's why you see this long line of folks that is leaving this area doing exactly that. Now, as far as who has arrived here, we have seen members of the LA County Fire Department personnel coming in, fire department cars, not paramedics that we've seen, but we have seen the fire department as well as sheriff's deputies coming in. There's a LA County Fire right there that was just coming in and now has turned around and gone out. But that is what we've seen here in the past 20 minutes. Now, when I asked one of the employees
Annie,
whether or not he heard a sound of an explosion, he said his colleague did. It shook the ground. Yes, Frank, send it back to you.
I'm sorry, Annie. I just wanted to confirm because our viewers are seeing on the screen that it says 3 dead in explosion at LASD training facility. It has now been confirmed by the Sheriff's Information Bureau that 3 people have been killed in this explosion. We don't know the nature of it. Eric Spillman also standing by, and Eric's working his sources as he's arriving on scene. Eric, what are you understand you have some new information? Eric Spillman?
3 deputies. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I can also confirm from very good sources within the Sheriff's Department that 3 deputies died in this explosion this morning. And my understanding of where this took place, there is what's called the Biscaluz Center, which is here on the 1000 block of Eastern in East LA. And this is where the Sheriff's Department arson and explosive unit is headquartered here. And often they do conduct training exercises. I was not able to confirm whether what happened today was part of a training exercise or not, but this is where this particular arson explosives unit of the Sheriff's Department, very specialized unit, is headquarters where they are based. And again, 3 sheriff's deputies dying in the explosion is the information that I'm getting this morning. And if that is, that would make this one of the deadliest days for the LA Sheriff's Department in my memory, for sure. I can't remember a time where 3 sheriff's employees died in one day.
No, I don't recall that either, Eric. And this would be a horrific a bit of news. Obviously, you do see some of the folks standing there in what appears to be, I don't want to say they're taking cover, but they are, as we look from Rich Prickett's vantage point in the helicopter, they're standing behind buildings. Earlier, we saw the firefighters standing in a group behind an engine. They were not scattered about. And coupling that with the information that we're getting from Annie Ramos that there is an active evacuation underway, it suggests that they're still concerned about a potential threat there. Do you have any information on that, Eric?
I don't. I mean, as you can imagine, the department is in chaos. They're trying to figure out exactly what's going on, and it's devastating news. So just about the only information I have is that 3 deputies are confirmed dead, and that the arson explosives detail section of the Sheriff's Department is based at this location. This is where they do sometimes conduct training. Not sure if what happened today is related to training or not, but there was some kind of an explosion, and it was deadly, with a horrific result that 3 deputies are confirmed dead.
You know, Eric, you mentioned your location, the 1000 block of Eastern. Annie Rose on a different side of the premise now. Can you explain? I know we have you on the phone right now. What are you seeing? Because we see a strip of caution tape. As Frank mentioned, you have folks that are posted up against the building. What are you seeing visually from your vantage point?
Well, I sort of pulled over to begin talking to people within the sheriff's department. I can see helicopters circling above the location, but I'm not at the same vantage point that Annie Rose has, where she can see people actually leaving.
Eric, I want to check in with Rich Prickett for a moment here. Rich, the image that you're showing us shows the back of this sheriff's unit, and we can see that is it the glass shattered there? What are you seeing there?
Frank, it looks like the rear window here of this sheriff squad car has been impacted, blown out. You can see the glass that's on the ground, as well as a backpack that lies on the ground right next to it. This is within the roped off area of this parking lot. I'm going to be careful as to what I show here live on air, but as I was scanning around the parking lot, I happened to notice that broken glass, the backpack, and what appears to be possibly 3 bodies with a blanket draped over them right near these trucks in the parking lot. So again, I'll be a little I want to make sure to not show anything that's sensitive here in the parking lot, but it would appear that I've seen 3 bodies that are right next to this cluster of trucks in the parking lot of this training facility.
Oh, awful. Yeah, and Rich, it has been confirmed that there were in fact 3 deputies that were killed, so that tracks with that. I don't know these mobile units here. Folks may recall in 2023 there was a mobile shooting range that caught fire during a training exercise, and 2 deputies were seriously injured. One later died from his injuries, Deputy Freddie Flores. That was in 2023. We don't know if these units are also related or used in a similar fashion, but from what you're reporting to us, this explosion occurred near these sort of semi-trucks down here, and I don't know how they're employed or if they have anything at all to do with this. Eric Spillman has told us that the arson and explosives detail was somehow related to what happened here, or that it occurred in an area where those folks train. So, you know, we're just trying to piece together what we can and being as conservative as possible in the reporting of it, because because to your point, Rich, of the sensitivity of what we are reporting, and we certainly don't want to show anything that would identify any of these folks, so that their family members don't learn of this from us. They need to learn from the official channels as to what has happened to their loved one, not from us. So we appreciate your sensitivity in what you're showing, but we do need to show this. This gives you a sense of the explosive impact of whatever happened. We don't know if they use live fire in these situations. We know that the Sheriff's Enforcement Bureau certainly uses flashbang grenades as they move in at times. I don't know enough about their training to know if they use actual explosives when they're training their deputies as to how to disarm these explosive devices that they encounter frequently in their job.
You know, the training's so necessary, and the fact that, you know, you were mentioning what we're looking at now is so sensitive because of how fresh it is. If you're just tuning in, this call came in at 7:27 this morning. That's just over 1 hour ago. We got confirmation within that hour from the public information officer that 3 deputies have been killed in that LASD training facility explosion that possibly happened. Reports are saying in the gymnasium, which is somewhere in this greater East LA area where this facility is. We're working to get information. Can we check back in with Annie Rose Ramos? She's on the ground now, giving us a different perspective. Annie Rose, at last check, employees who were trying to get to work this morning were told to drive away, to leave the facility. What else are you seeing this morning?
Megan, Frank, we are here again off of Northeastern Avenue and Sheriff's Road. This intersection is where we arrived about 20 minutes ago. I'm going to pull aside because take a look at here. The Los Angeles Police Department bomb squad arriving right now to this area. Now, when we got here about 20 minutes ago, I can tell you this street that you were looking at was completely full of employees who were leaving the scene. I walked up to one of the cars and asked what was going on. He said, I work here. I'm part of the maintenance crew. I work on the sheriff's deputies' cars, and we were all asked to leave immediately. Now, I walked up to some of the deputies who you can see are working traffic control here right in the middle of this intersection. I said, what is going on? Can we go any further? They said, this is still very active, ongoing scene. You need to stop right here. This is as far as we are going to let you go. Since we've arrived here, we have seen multiple LA County Fire Department vehicles racing in at a very high speed, rushing into this facility. We've also seen many deputies' cars come into this area. Now, as we've seen those slew of employees leaving this area because they were told to leave immediately, I spoke to one woman about that explosion that we are hearing reports, unconfirmed yet, but still we are hearing reports that happened right around 7:30 when that call came in that led to the death of 3 sheriff's deputies. One of the employees who was coming out said the explosion felt like a bomb. She said the ground shook. She thought it was an earthquake, walked outside to find out that this was something that had gone horribly wrong. Now, from another employee who showed up to work and was quickly turned away on foot, was told to leave the area immediately. He says, when I asked him about this facility, he said is where a lot of trainings happen here, specifically with their bomb specialists that work with the Sheriff's Department. It's something we heard reiterate from Eric Spillman, from his sources who say this is some sort of training facility, and we know that the bomb specialists here who work and train here are handling potentially hazardous, potentially very dangerous material that we have seen, unfortunately, lead to this deadly incident that has happened here. Now, I've asked, and I've just called the spokesperson for the Sheriff's Department, who says it is, in one word, they are still trying to figure everything out. I can best describe this as being a little chaotic right now. I mean, they are trying to figure out when the next press conference, when there's going to be one. When I asked one of the deputies that you're looking at right here in the middle of the intersection who's guiding traffic in and out of the entrance to where all of this happened, he said, it's a little chaotic right now. Just bear with us, and it is completely understandable because of what this department has just gone through within the past hour. Guys, back to you.
Annie Rose, I just want to circle back to the beginning here of what you were showing us a moment ago. Was that an LAPD bomb squad truck that was going into the facility?
Correct. You saw that massive truck turning a left onto Sheriff's Road, going into the entrance to where we believe this took place. And yes, that was an LAPD bomb squad. You could see it written on the side of it. Yeah. Vehicle going in. So would lead a good indication of what may have happened here when that call came in right around 7:27 earlier this morning.
All right, we're going to take that bit of information and head back up to Rich Prickett in Sky 5 HD. Rich, we saw the LAPD truck rolling onto the campus there. I don't know, based on your flight restrictions, whether you can actually see it or not, or if you were able to witness it rolling in. But have you seen that truck appear in the scene yet?
I have not, Frank, but I can certainly take a look around here in just a moment. What I was concentrating on at this point was right here in this section of the parking lot near the Special Unit Dispatch headquarters here in and training center. Now, when we had moved away from the shot, I was able to get a little tighter angle as to the area where we saw possibly 3 bodies that lay in the parking lot here. There is a sheriff's bomb squad truck that's right in the center of the picture, that's usually is stored or parked underneath this covered area here. And there's actually a part of the cover that has been ripped open, and a bomb squad truck that is open with a ramp that comes down from it. And it looked to be maybe some sort of residue or debris that surrounds the pickup or the bomb squad truck. I might have seen one of those small little deployable robots that go up to, that you would see usually go to check out an explosive when they're investigating, and that's what we have seen at this point. That I think that we have narrowed it down to the incident happening here in the parking lot near this cluster of trucks. One of those being, some of these being hazmat vehicles, others being part of the bomb squad for the Sheriff's Department, and that's where we have seen the shattered. Right in the vicinity is where we saw the other sheriff squad car with the broken glass and a backpack that's on the ground here, and what appears to be 3 people that are draped under a tarp here near this bomb squad truck.
That we do see that from the video that we're looking at here, that I believe this is a video and not the live picture, or maybe this is the live picture, but we can see that tarp with a hole, a gaping hole in the top there, and just below it is what Rich is speaking of. The doors are open there, and just beyond, around the corner from that, a second ago, we could also see one of those trailers that are brought in. Often when they take an explosive device, they put it inside a containment device for transport, and I don't know if that, I believe that's what was sort of at the tail end of that tent. But obviously we don't know which one of these vehicles came into play, but based on Rich's reporting and the visuals we're seeing from Sky 5 HD, you can see the area where we believe the explosion happened. You can also see at the top of your screen the fire department truck, and generally speaking, most of the folks still staying essentially behind it, because as we have been told, this is still an active scene. All of those folks back there keeping their distance, because obviously if there is another explosion, we don't want further casualties, and so folks are doing what they can to keep a distance. That I'm sure they want to move in and make sure that there is no further threat. They want to tend to their fallen comrades, but that at the moment appears not to be possible based on the way they are spread about here at this particular moment.
Active evacuation with the folks who were trying to come to work. Annie Rose Ramos was telling us there was a long line of people in vehicles told to get out immediately, and so that's where it stands right now.
That LAPD bomb squad truck has at least entered the campus and there, I believe it's right to your left top. Your top left there against the wall, Rich. I believe that's the LAPD. If you keep panning, yeah, there you go, right in the middle of your screen now. Yeah, that's the Los Angeles Police Department bomb squad unit. And so they're preparing to deploy in some manner, or at least they're there to assist. I'm not sure who would coordinate in a situation like this. I suspect the Sheriff's Department would either call in for assistance, or the LAPD may have just volunteered their assistance and may be on standby. It's not clear how they will be employed in this situation, but they are at least there standing by at the Sheriff's Department.